Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jake, the Scary Story Guy, and this is my 25th review that I've posted on my channel. So we're going to do something a little special. Today, I'm going to review the first horror movie I ever saw. At the tender age of 7 in my grandma's basement, my uncle showed me The Changeling, the 1980 horror classic starring the great George C. Scott. It scared the shit out of me. My parents were deranged with anger, but ultimately it's all for the good because honestly, I give that experience quite a bit of credit for my lifelong fascination with all things morbid and macabre. Still, I must admit, I spent 2 whole decades putting off a revisit of The Changeling until I finally watched it again a couple Octobers ago. And upon rewatch, I realized, I don't want to exaggerate here, but The Changeling is among the better horror movies ever made. Certainly one of the most underrated, at any rate. During my recent appearance on the Jack of No Traits podcast, we made a Halloween movie guide, and we each had to name a classic horror movie that a newbie to the genre should watch. Now, my fellow podcast hosts recommended movies like Halloween, The Exorcist, Nightmare on Elm Street. I recommended The Changeling. And The Changeling is a classic. It may not have had the cultural staying power of some of those movies I just mentioned. It doesn't get played relentlessly on cable TV on Halloween. It's actually not even on any mainstream streaming service right now. But it's still an all-timer. Don't take my word for it, though. Martin Scorsese himself ranked The Changeling among Psycho, The Exorcist, The Shining as one of the greatest horror films ever made. Guillermo del Toro called it a masterpiece. Neve Campbell, the star of the Scream franchise, called The Changeling the scariest movie she's ever seen. So, it's got the pedigree. But what's it about? The Changeling stars George C. Scott as John, a composer and professor who is recovering from the grief of losing his wife and daughter in a tragic accident. He moves across the country in search of a fresh start, and he takes up residence in an old mansion owned by the local historical society. But once there, John finds himself haunted by a series of increasingly strange events and begins to search for an explanation. Let's talk about George C. Scott for a second. This dude can act, man. Like, no shit, he won an Oscar for Best Actor, but they just really don't make him like this guy anymore. He belongs to this old school of actors. They're like, I don't know how to explain it. There's like this nobility about them. I'm talking about guys like Gregory Peck, right? Leading men who are able to carry a movie even well beyond middle age. There's just this quiet dignity that I think stands in pretty stark contrast to like another brand of leading man, like your De Niro's, your Nicholson's, your Pacino's. I don't even know who you'd compare him to today. It's just a really impressive performance that makes me long for a different age of filmmaking. By the way, starting now, you may hear my dogs in the background of this video. They're in the room with me. In fact, let me introduce you. Hang on. This is Evie. She's a little camera shy. Hi. And this is Rory. She's a big girl. She's got some heft to her, don't you? You got some heft? Mwah. I'll never get all this hair off me. Now, I've got to say, I think my primary gripe with old horror movies is that I just don't personally find them that scary. You know, even The Exorcist, like I'll raise my eyebrow a couple of times, but they're just not, I don't know, I think there's something about the modern film-going experience where what once was terrifying to us now just kind of inevitably appears musty. But I watched The Changeling with my wife last week. Now, she is not a horror movie gal. She always lets me show her one every spooky movie season. It always goes horribly. She hates it. We have to sleep with one of the lights on. Isn't marriage great? And this movie lulled her into a false sense of security. She was actually making fun of it quite a bit in the beginning, a few of the scenes that seem kind of outdated. That thing old movies do where there's a big swelling score. It's dramatic in every scene and it can seem kind of cheesy and overdone to a modern audience. And then about 25 minutes into the movie, I noticed the jokes had stopped. So I look over at her. She's got a blanket pulled up to here. I said, "Oh, I thought this movie was stupid." And she's like, "It is stupid. I don't know why I'm so scared." She totally deserved it. Thing is though, she's right. There are parts of this movie that feel a little old, a little outdated, but ultimately there's just no denying this is an incredibly creepy movie. And before I go any further, I am going to give The Changeling 4.5 stars out of 5. Now, hopefully that's enough to sell you on watching this movie if you haven't. So if that's you, get out of here and go watch it. The rest of you, I'm going to assume you have seen this movie and there will be spoiler talk from here on out. Now, even though The Changeling may not be one of the most well-known horror films of all time, one of the things you'll notice as you watch is just how much influence it's had on the movies that are. One of my favorite horror movies as a teenager was The Ring, a story about a curse that originated with a child's body buried in a well. Sound familiar? Quite a few movie seances owe a lot to The Changeling, which, let's just talk about the seance in this movie really quick. I didn't know what a seance was when I was 7 years old. I imagine a lot of 7-year-olds don't. This movie ended that innocence abruptly. I'm barely even comprehending what's going on, right? But then they all sit down around that table, they dim the lights, and shit gets real. They start talking to the ghost, and the lady's like scribbling on the paper, and her eyes are all like, I'm like, what the f***? Stop! No! go! Great way to get your mind off the troubles of second grade in retrospect. Now this movie does suffer from pacing issues a little bit in the same way that every movie made before like 1998 does. It's not too long, which is always a point in your favor there. But the Changeling sort of becomes a murder mystery, and they solve the mystery with like 30 minutes left in the movie. So the whole rest of the thing is just them telling the senator what happened. The twist of, you know, oh, this guy killed his disabled son and then replaced him with the senator, that would have been a cooler reveal nearer the end of the movie in my view. I kind of wish the senator had known about it too, like been in on it, because he didn't totally deserve what he gets here. Like, I get that the ghost is pissed off, right? Understandable. Hurt people, but damn, like, why are you trying to kill the dude that helped you? That's George C. Scott. He's an institution. Anyway, great show, one of my favorites. Pay homage to the 7-year-old scary story guy and check it out this spooky season. And after that, if you're still looking for more horror content, you can check out my original scary stories in the description below. Stay tuned on this channel as well, because I've got some fun plans coming up. And thank you for watching my video. Here's hoping you survive to see the next one.